Hello everybody, Rosquit here. If you are a video game fan like I am, you are aware that this week is E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. This is the week where all the major companies display all their new games, so Microsoft, well, actually, I rephrase this. Sony did not have a press conference this week, so most of Sony's games are MIA for this week's E3. There have been a few surprise ones, but other than that, we'll have to find out what happens from them directly. Otherwise, we have Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Square Enix, some independent developers. There's some games that are coming from other companies that just want to showcase what they have. It's a big week for us as gamers, as YouTubers. I hope that I get out to you guys a lot more over the next year, but this is the week where all the big news comes out. Like, games that you've been waiting for 2 years might finally get a release date. Games that you've never heard of that look amazing. You're going to be like, oh, I want it. It's going to be a few years, might be a few years down the road, but it's going to come out. Anyways, this is just a little note that I will be showcasing all of the EA press conferences, one episode at a time for each company, except for one. Because I've watched all the conferences on my own for fun to see how they were. There was one conference I was very disappointed in, and I am not going to make you guys go through that. EA's EA Play conference was broken down into half-hour sections where they showcased one game every half hour. And I say one game loosely because, let's see here, we had Star Wars The Fallen Order, was pretty good. Then there was Apex Legends and Battlefield 5 for half an hour each on DLC. And DLC for Apex meaning one character and one new weapon. I'm sorry, but if it's going to be something like that, I more appreciate it if it's kind of like what Microsoft or Sony has done in the past, where it's a little 2-minute teaser of what's coming to it, like with the Mega Man DLC or the Final Fantasy DLC for Monster Hunter, where it was just a little showcase of here's what some of the characters can look like in this situation. It's like, sweet, cool, moving on to the next thing. They went and they brought in Apex, talked about one new character who can put down like laser grids for defense, and a new weapon. And honestly, I did not sit through the whole thing. I could not. It was just too boring of a conference to talk about one thing for that. Battlefield 5 had a new multiplayer map, one new campaign, which is kind of cool, but you had to talk about it for half an hour. The next two games on the EA Play were FIFA 20, Madden 20, 2020, excuse me, because Madden 20 already happened. That was the 20th anniversary. But I like Madden. I'm not one of the people that buys it every year because it just seems to be a new roster update and like one little tweak to either the offense or the defense every year. I've never really gotten into FIFA. That would be more Island Fang's thing. But it just seems like every year it's mostly just a roster update and small tweaks to either graphics or gameplay. So I'm not going to spend $60 every year on it. The last thing that kind of interested myself and wife quit was they announced the new DLC package for Sims 4, which looks adorable and pretty. It's a tropical island DLC, which, as I said, looks adorable and cute, looks pretty. But they still tried to talk about it, just that, for half an hour. So, I'm just putting it out there. If you guys have already watched it, if you watched it all the way through, props to you. I could not. I skipped the sports and I skipped most of the Apex because the hosts were just a little too energetic for what was going on. They kept interrupting the special guests that were talking about their game. I'm kind of babbling a little bit on this situation because I wasn't able to watch it all the way through. Someone I respect for actually going through it. I really recommend watching. I believe he's called the DreamcastGuy on YouTube. He spoke about all these as well. That was really interesting. But all in all, the only thing that was really interesting and was looking forward to for this entire press conference was the new Star Wars game by Respawn, which, of course, with Respawn working on Star Wars The Fallen Order and Apex, another game that was MIA from this was Titanfall 3, because they're already working on 2 major projects for EA. Another thing with the way this was set up that was missing was EA showcasing another independent developer that could show a new game that would probably sell better than some of their other games. This is stuff in the past, like No Way Out or One Way Out. I'm sorry, I have not played it yet. I want to. But that game, Faye, both the Unraveled games, those games have sold really well and have gotten really good critical acclaim. But EA has decided this year, we're not showing any of these independent developers. We're showing our big 6, which 2 of them are the rehashes of every year. 2 of them, actually 3 of them, are just DLC packages. And then 1 has been a game that has been talked about for 2.5 years, and was originally for another company that EA then scrapped because they said, we don't believe in single-player games anymore. Excuse me. But EA, this is not how, in my opinion, you do a press conference. For something where it's like, this is what's coming out. Cool. Why do you have to talk about one thing for half an hour? That's not what these conferences are about. This is not where the conference should be about. This should be like, you pique our interest, and then IGN, Engadget, or one of these major YouTube relations that you have, you speak with them on day 1, day 2 of actual E3, not the conference, and you kind of whet our appetite there. Don't talk with a developer, and don't interrupt a developer for half an hour. That just shows a lack of class, in my opinion. But it's just weird how EA is doing all this publicity in certain games over the last few years, and then it's just, nope, we're not doing it. Anthem, according to the other YouTuber that I was watching, the DreamcastGuy, had 90 seconds of interaction. I guess it was the BioWare president. And then there was nothing on Dragon Age 4, and it was just not what I was expecting. So, anyways, as I was saying, this is my personal opinion. Oh, hello, sir. Anyways, before I continue rambling and ranting about how much EA messed up, I just want to say thank you for listening to me, and just giving you a heads up on what not, in my opinion, to watch this week at E3. But E3 is always fun for people like me. I do enjoy watching them. I know I've had some people talk to me about why they think EA is going downhill nowadays, and I do agree with them. There's a lot of times where it's like, we're showcasing a game. It's cool. It's great. It's 2019 now. When is the game coming out? Probably 2024 or something. I mean, we're still waiting on Death Stranding and Last of Us 2 and stuff like that. Those were first showcased in 2015, I think. But it is what it is. I enjoy seeing a sneak peek of a game that's going to come out in a while. I mean, you don't have to show me everything, but I mean, a little sneak peek here and there is fun. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for more E3 content, and we're going to have some fun this week. On for the regular show side, we're going to be continuing our campaign for Honor and Bending the Ink Machine Resident Evil 2. After that, it's going to be a... I'm literally going to toss a coin. It's either going to be Spider-Man, God of War, Jackie Chan Adventure, or Jackie Chan Stunt Master, or Sly Cooper coming in the future. So please stay tuned for those. But over the next few days, it's going to be E3 press conferences, and then my opinions on some other games that I've looked into that were not mentioned in the conference. So thank you very much for joining me for another episode of Rosquet. Make sure to, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe down below. And I really hope to see you all in the next episode. So, see you later, everyone.